have a quick question regarding like this is about to make your U.S. national team like senior debut alongside like Paige and Angel, and all of you guys are kind of part of this like young future of this team, right? And so I guess I'm just curious, like, how much pride do you take in having that opportunity of being kind of this like torchbearer, like in the holding cell, so to speak, and look forward to this opportunity?
That response tells you everything you need to know about where Caitlin Clark stands in these CBA negotiations. Pay attention to what she didn't say. She didn't claim to be on every call. She didn't act like she's leading the entire movement. Instead, she kept it real. 144 players simply can't align their schedules for every single negotiation session. And that honesty? That's exactly why this moment matters. For weeks, people have been pressuring Caitlin to speak out about the CBA. Social media has been nonstop. Where's Caitlin? Why isn't she saying anything? Does she even care about the future of the league? Well, now she is speaking, and what she's revealing is far more nuanced than all those hot takes suggest.
In itself, and I know getting to put on the jersey will be super special, and these are the teams I watched growing up. My favorite players played on these teams, so everybody knows what an honor it is to wear USA across your chest. And obviously there's quite a few more steps to reaching the Olympics, and you have a lot till we get to that point, but obviously that's certainly my goal, and obviously the World Cup before that. But I think there's still a lot for me to learn. There's a lot of really great older players here that have won gold medals that I can learn from and be surrounded by. I think that's the fun part about USA too. There's multiple people that have done this before and you can learn from them. So excited for that journey as well. And I think, people that are making their debut, whether it's me, Paige, Angel, Kiki, or whoever else it is, whether in this event or another event, would probably say the same as well.
Watch how her entire energy changes when the conversation shifts to Team USA. The contrast is impossible to miss. When she's talking about CBA negotiations, she's composed, careful, measured, diplomatic. But the moment she's asked about representing the USA, everything changes. There's real emotion. That smile? It's genuine. The pride is undeniable. And this moment is bigger than just national team excitement. Caitlin is about to make her senior team USA debut in Puerto Rico for the World Cup qualifiers. She's already been through the system, playing on the U16, U18, and U19 teams, but as she points out, very few players actually make it from those junior squads to the senior roster. The drop-off is huge. That's why this isn't just another game. This is the result of years of work. A journey that started when she was just 15, walking into that room in Colorado Springs, wide-eyed, staring at the jerseys of legends like Maya Moore, Sue Bird, and Diana Taurasi.
Game is going to be your first on-floor action in 8 months. So with that in mind, what do you want to accomplish through the San Juan process? And perhaps through the rehab process, what did you learn about yourself and perhaps a human being as well?
Yeah, it's definitely been a while since I played a game. And obviously I played in the camp we had in December, and then, doing everything I can to simulate as much live play in training and pickup and things like that, but nothing will quite emulate this type of environment. So I think it'll probably take me a second to knock a little bit of the rust off. I'll probably be a little bit nervous, which I usually don't get nervous, but that probably just will come from, I haven't really played basketball in a while. So I'm sure like after the first minute.
8 months. That's how long it's been since Caitlin Clark last stepped on the court. Her final game? June 2024. Music. Since then, she's battled a string of nagging injuries. Not one major tear like an ACL or Achilles, but a series of soft tissue issues, each one stacking on the last. What makes that kind of injury so brutal isn't just the body, it's the mind. With a major injury, you know the timeline. 6 months out, 9 months, a year. You can plan, mentally brace yourself, and follow the rehab. But with ongoing, compounding injuries, the uncertainty is relentless. You think you're ready to return, and then something else flares up. You push again. Another setback. It's a psychological grind that can wear down even the toughest athletes. Music. Caitlin has been open about the toll it took on her mentally. Last season, she played only 13 games and admits she wasn't always fully healthy. She was pushing to help her team, but in doing so, she sometimes made things worse.
Focused on anything in particular?
I think you get to a point, I think especially like after getting through that first USA basketball camp, I think like a lot of just true live play. Like you can only, obviously I love skill development and working on my game and this and that. And there's obviously a ton of that, but there's, you need to just go out there and play pickup and play 5-on-5 with the guys or play threes, and just trying to get my lungs in the best shape I possibly can without really playing a competitive game. So that's kind of been my main focus. And then obviously just continuing to focus on my body and make sure I'm as healthy as possible. I think kind of in the build up to that first USA camp and working through that, you would feel little things and whether, it's just soreness and having to work through that. But when you've dealt with so many little soft tissue injuries, like you can kind of get in your head a little bit. And I think at least past couple months, I've really kind of put that behind me and really just feel confident in what I've been able to build and where my.
And here's where you really see the evolution in her approach. Music. She's no longer just doing isolated skill work. Now it's about live play, 5-on-5 scrimmages, pickup games, 3-on-3 competitions, pushing her conditioning in real game scenarios, outside the structure of official practice. Listen to how she talks about her body now. There's a confidence that wasn't there before. She recalls feeling small aches leading up to her first Team USA camp in December, soreness that used to spike anxiety because of everything she'd been through. After dealing with multiple soft tissue injuries, every twinge used to make her question, is this another setback? Am I breaking down again? Should I stop before it gets worse? But over the past few months, that fear has faded. She no longer second-guesses every sensation. She trusts what she's built. And that mental shift? It might be even more important than any physical improvement. Confidence in your own body is everything when you're coming back from injury.
Caitlin, thank you for taking the time. And just two quick ones for me. Who were some of your favorite Olympic basketball players kind of growing up? And what are you hoping to kind of glean from anybody in particular from this team in terms of game and just kind of the mental fortitude that it takes to kind of get through this?
Yeah, I mean, like my favorite Olympians growing up, definitely Maya Moore, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi. Those are probably my three favorite. But I mean, you can go down the list and name probably a bunch more. And even on the men's side, like I loved watching the men's teams as well growing up. And I remember like one of my best memories as a young basketball player was when I was like, I think this was my first time playing on the U16 team. And we were in Colorado Springs and we got
Maya Moore, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi. Those are the three names Caitlin Clark grew up idolizing. And if you know their careers, you immediately get the blueprint she's following. Maya Moore, for WNBA championships, 2 Olympic golds, and walked away at her peak to fight for criminal justice reform. Sue Bird, 5 Olympic golds for WNBA titles, the very definition of a winner and a leader. Diana Taurasi, the greatest scorer in WNBA history, 3 Olympic golds, a ruthless competitor. What do they all share? Dominance on the international stage, a commitment to Team USA, a refusal to let greatness be confined to the WNBA alone. Caitlin tells a story about being 15 in Colorado Springs, standing in a room lined with jerseys of legends. That's when the dream hit her. She saw names like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant on the men's side, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, Lisa Leslie on the women's side. Decades of American basketball excellence. And she thought, I want my jersey in that room one day. Now, she's on the brink of making that dream real, about to take the first step toward that very goal.
I have 2 team members that kind of, if I have questions, that's who I turn to. It's Aaliyah and Lexi for our team. Obviously, that'll probably change with, you vote on it every year and you decide who's going to represent your team. And then obviously the executive committee, those are the people that, we kind of put our trust in and turn to represent us as the players. And, I have open dialect with them. I can't say I've been on every single CBA call that's been open to the players. It just conflicts with everybody's schedule. That's impossible when there's 144 players. You can't line up a call that is going to work for every single person. So you have to be very intentional. And if you have questions, you can reach out to those people. And there's certainly been people that I've reached out to and had communication with. So I think you just rely on that and rely on the people that are in those positions that you trust them and they're going to do the best representing the entire.
Let's circle back to where it all started, the CBA negotiations. Caitlin's approach here gives a rare glimpse into how these talks really happened behind the scenes. She mentions Leah and Lexi as the Indiana Fever's designated team representatives, players trusted to attend the detailed negotiation sessions, music, and report back. Then there's the executive committee, a group of veteran players who actually sit across from league executives and hammer out the details. This is how 144 players coordinate something this complex. You can't have everyone in every meeting, schedules, commitments, and time zones make that impossible. So, you elect representatives you trust and rely on them to communicate. Caitlin is honest about her own role. She hasn't been on every call, some conflicted with her schedule, but she stays in open dialogue with her reps. When questions arise, she reaches out. She's engaged, but she's not pretending to run the entire show. Drop your thoughts in the comments. This debate will shape the next era of the WNBA. And make sure to subscribe, because we'll be tracking every development in these negotiations as they unfold.